Hello friends and welcome back for another episode of Indie Impressions. My name is Nick and today we're going to be checking out something called the Black Lighthouse by developer Fun Selector. This is another of the LD28 games, again featuring the theme of you only get one. In this case, I'm not sure what the theme is in correlation with the game, but the concept is that basically we're going to be driving around in our little boat in some sort of an Arctic scenario, trying to pick up these 7 red balls to reactivate a deactivated lighthouse before night. So I guess maybe you only get one evening to do this job could be how we deal with that theme. So let's get into things. There's not really much of anything to go over other than cool aesthetic for the title screen. I like the typography. When we hit begin, we're just going to be right in the middle of things, and really the only controls are WASD. So other than that, we're good to go. So begin. Gather enough power to start the lighthouse. You only get one chance before nightfall. Okay, so I was right about that. I only spent about 15 seconds or so with this to get my sound check, so I really didn't even pay attention to what it said at the beginning. So very minimal in terms of concept. There's really not a whole lot here to look at. It's mostly just these ice chunks floating all around us, and then of course the water and the little bit of boat effects, and then there's a kind of a sparse little musical selection of piano keys going off in the background, and a very low volume-wise bit of wind, which is actually surprising quite how quiet that is, but I think it's most likely to set the ambience to some degree. Now, we don't seem to have to worry much about our boat taking damage. We can seem to run into things as much as we like, which is kind of thankful to me, because really, honestly, it's kind of difficult to control this boat. And there's one ball, and oh, we've kind of gotten lost here. It's difficult to control the boat intentionally. I mean, if you've ever controlled a boat in reality, which I have not, but I'm speaking from what I've heard. Oh, I think we've gotten stuck here in the corner and it doesn't look like I can move at all. Well, that would be a bug. I don't believe there's a reset button, so I guess I'm just going to have to start over again. Now, that is unfortunate. Well, I'll make a cut and I'll see you right after that. Alright, we are back, and it looks like one of the lose conditions happens to be if you get yourself stranded on the game environment as well. It's a little unfortunate the developer didn't just put in, like, make the R key be reset or something like that, but I guess that's something that could be tweaked very easily and quickly, I have a feeling. And, you know, 48-hour games, these types of things happen, so we don't hold grudges. But anyway, what I was saying was that, you know, the boat is intentionally weighty in the control department, and I think that's for the best, because really that is the only game challenge here, other than just exploring this rather sparse environment. And thankfully the thing can kind of turn on a dime. It seems like we can go around in a circle. It's just if there ends up being something we collide with that we get into a little bit of trouble sometimes. That maybe we can't back up. Oh no, have I done it again already? This is a little bit bad if this is... Wow, seriously? I can kind of still move a little bit, but probably not enough to be able to get off of this. So it looks like we're going to be restarting this game quite a bit, unless I can still get away from it. I really can't. Ugh. It's too bad. I like this very subtle soundtrack. I just heard like a little bit of a hi-hat in there too, I think. I'm trying to just rock back and forth, but now I'm probably going to use up so much of my time that it's not going to be worth bothering. So, okay, let's do it again. Alright, this time I'm going to try and steer myself as far away from these rocks as possible. Unfortunately, I think that's not going to be necessarily able to be done for particularly long, because I know we're going to have to end up in some of these little outcroppings just to get to the ball things that we're supposed to be finding in order to restore power to this lighthouse. So our main objective is going to put us in that position. And I think something I just noticed about that little piano plinking, it almost reminds me of a very subtle hint at, like, the Ocarina of Time soundtrack, which I don't know if you'll be able to hear what I'm hearing, but it is kind of funny that that's a thing. And it's also reminding me, of course, of, like, Wind Waker, you know, the whole boat exploration thing. There hasn't been a ton of games that have really tried out that concept, and I think it's something that could be quite cool if it's done in the right context. I'm almost going to go down the same path again. Oh no, don't get stuck on this, please. It looks like there's only a few places to go, so I'm probably going to have to just dive in and hope for the best. I don't think that's going to be one of them, though. Let's go around the edges again one more time. There isn't, like, a meter or anything to tell you quite how much longer you have to go before it's night, and also there doesn't seem to be a thing telling you how many more of these ball things you're supposed to grab. And I'm also not sure why they're a ball, like a buoy, that it seems to be that you're grabbing, but I guess that's part of the mystery. Or maybe they're just MacGuffins in this case, which is kind of fine. It leads you around the game environment. But it doesn't, like, give you a reason, really. Because if it was, like, say there was a story of maybe you could get out of the boat, and maybe you had to go to a little island, you drive the boat around, and on the island is a house, and in that house is some kind of a fuse or something. Maybe that would give you like a kind of a more tangible, more realistic story to imagine yourself taking through. But then again, 48-hour games, kind of understandable. All right, can we just not crash, please? It's way harder than it looks, I promise you that. And if you're wondering about my abilities, I invite you to please go ahead and give this a try yourself. It is totally free to grab. There we go. We actually made it out alive for once. Now, can I make it around this corner successfully? I might be able to do it. Some of the things that I feel like I'm missing a little bit are perhaps, bigger waves. The waves seem to be a little bit on the little side, which is the first thing I noticed, of course, is that this is not just a shader technique on top of the polygon mesh. It is actually just, like, there are actually some vertices moving up and down here, as you can see, where they are up against rocks. You can tell there's actually some change in the altitude. So I appreciate that. A lot of games will just make a perfectly flat, just plane that has the water effect going on it, and I find that to be very cheap looking. This, I feel like, looks a bit better, and it's actually pretty incredible how little you can have asset-wise to make a reasonably convincing, like, kind of a cartoony boat scenario. I mean, the boat looks fine. I don't really have any issues with that. If I was to ask for anything else visually, I would probably ask for little ripples behind the boat. I think that would be kind of a nice touch that would add quite a bit to it. And even if you could add something like maybe changing tides over a long amount of time, that could add maybe access to a new area could be kind of a cool thing. But, again, this is overanalyzing things. I think largely it's pretty much fine for where it is. The other thing I feel like is missing is perhaps much more substantial wind. This is just kind of a thing that I've noticed anytime I've ever been on a boat. Since it's completely open to the environment, there is just always tons and tons of wind. And in this case, well, maybe we're experiencing a little bit of like a Silent Hill level seclusion, and maybe the rocks are actually breaking up a lot of the wind, which is kind of reasonable to think as well. But it is largely almost entirely silent. There was a little bit of wind at first, and now it seems to have given way to just about nothing. Oh, there it is again. I don't know, it might be a little too quiet in the mix to hear, but there is actually a little bit of wind. Now, can I make it through? It's a bit tricky. I also might want a proximity-based dimming of the environment around me. I mean, I understand that, thankfully, the meshes or the solid objects are only solid on one side, so you can at least see through them when the camera clips through, and that's good, but it might even be a little bit more beneficial to just have it so you can just see everything, but then again, you won't know when you're about to collide with something, so maybe that was a poor idea, but you know what I'm trying to get at. That maybe there could be some level of, at least maybe transparency might be good, because you can end up in a situation where you can't really see much of anything if you put the camera in the wrong spot for a little too long. I'm not sure where to go. There seems like there's a lot of places that I'm going to get my boat stuck, and maybe that was going to be another one of them. Oh no, I barely just snuck into that position, and now I feel like I'm stuck again. Yeah, totally can't move. That is unfortunate. Well, the Black Lighthouse, you have a very mysterious premise to you, and I like the title, I like the theme, I like the mood, the ambience is lovely. And now it's starting to seem a little sinister as things are getting darker. Oh, did my boat just move a little bit? I've been holding on down for a while, and it seems like possibly the camera's shifting just slightly. Unless the tide is changing, which I don't think it is. But I feel like I'm probably marooned now. It would be neat if you could just get out of the boat and just give it a shove. But that doesn't seem to be the case. So I guess we'll wrap things up at this point. I know a fairly short episode, but really this was just coming to grips with the concept here and understanding the execution. I think there is definitely some groundwork for something pretty cool, but I think it still needs quite a bit more work, and that is how things are with the LD competition. Oh, I've finally gotten myself off of that rock. I guess holding down did actually work in the end, and things are definitely getting quite dark now, so I have a feeling we're about to reach our lose condition. I've been dawdling quite a bit anyway, because I keep getting stuck on stuff and being rather apprehensive about whether I want to head down certain alleyways. But I guess that just comes with the territory. So if you could remove that fear of getting stuck quite so much somehow, that would probably be a big benefit. That would go a long way and could be as simple as just having a, reset to flat land with the R key button implemented or something like that. But anyway, that's my 2 cents. I would definitely invite you guys, go try this yourself. I'm curious to know if you guys are able to finish it. The link is going to be right in the description, so you can feel free to let me know what you think. If you have any criticisms, or if there was something that you would like to see implemented. Sometimes the devs end up seeing these, so it is kind of useful to have that discussion. But I definitely see the potential in this one. Oh, I found another ball here. Can I get... or another buoy. Can I get around? I don't know how close I am to actually oh, no. That was your last chance. Enjoy the darkness, or your chance. Well, I was very close there, but it didn't seem to happen. Well, I'm assuming I'm close. I have a feeling there wasn't too many more, because I don't know how many more places there could even be. But then after that's done and I get all the light sources, it would be nice if it, like, guided me back to the lighthouses. Honestly, I had no idea where I was on the map at that point. But that is going to do it for another episode, guys. Thank you so much for watching, and thank you for your continued support with the Indie Impressions series. I hope you guys are still into what I'm doing here. I'm not sure exactly how many more days of LD coverage I'm planning on doing, but probably a few yet, because I have quite a few more games on my list. And I have kind of reached the end of consideration of the ones that I'm going to be covering, so, no need to send me emails at this point. I've looked through pretty much all of them. But I do thank you for your continued support and for watching and everything, so please do leave likes if you're enjoying what you see, and if you'd like to see more in this subgenre of the indie world. And I will be back again tomorrow. New episodes are every single day without fail, and have been for 600 plus consecutive days, so if you're into that as well, consider leaving some support in the form of a like. But that is going to be pretty much it, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Be sure to come back again tomorrow. Be sure to leave a comment if you enjoyed, and check out the game yourself. So, thank you. I will see you tomorrow, and I hope you have a lovely night. Talk to you later.